YouTubers. It's been a while because every single video I put up gets taken down, and I've been under suspension after suspension for quite some time. In any case, in the middle of all of it, I ran away to Mexico under the deadline by the Government of Canada, Transport Canada, that, well, I would be landlocked for the rest of my life. And yeah, well, no one does that to me. So I decided to use that free will of mine and transfer myself down south. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to land quite yet, but it's going to be an adventure getting there. I'm working on a few projects. I finally got myself settled in an undisclosed area on the West Coast. I've got this cute courtyard, backyard to myself, and here I will be for the next 3 weeks at least. Well, that's going to be a surprise. It is. But just know I'm going to emerge with something or a few things that are very interesting. You see, I spent close to 2 years teaching the world, well, or who could ever see my videos, about the plan that would change the world, and that is UN Agenda 2030. The buck stops with that plan, but what I've learned through this journey is the fact that, well, we just have too much information out there. And what's happened is that information is now being used against us to keep the confusion going. The bottom line is everything ends in that plan. And, well, the West, democratic nations need to come down to achieve those goals. That means the imposition of a totalitarian or deeply socialist system. And as I explained when I even started these videos, right after the lockdowns and Sweden didn't get one, well, they were on track with Agenda 2030, which is why that didn't occur. Why the World Health Organization allowed Sweden, because they are charged with the management of this matter. Why they didn't make Sweden lock down and do everything that everyone else was. Now, the developing world, on the other hand, is a whole new can of worms. And it's my contention and belief that, well, we're on an entirely different schedule. Now, that's what I've been talking about for quite some time in my lives on Facebook. And if you're not there, you really should go there to try to get those lives, because I'm going to reboot them now. I'm being really careful about what I post on FB now. Again, I'm kind of doing my Mexico content and, again, my way forward content. And then I'm on Telegram, and that's where my more political content will be found. I'm trying to even it up and just know I haven't lost my train of thought. But I realized through all of this that I'm going to have to be way more creative if I'm going to get my point across. Again, because we are saturated with information, and our democracy and that free information has now been used against us, and will be further, because as this goes on, well, you could go to the Government of Canada website, the UK government website, France, all those Western nations, and you're going to see a brief introduction of this circular economy. Now, of course, that is part of the sustainable way forward, which eliminates competition. Everything will be refurbished in the future. And of course, I've always been on the side of sustainability. And although this sounds wonderful, The fact is, most people won't own those things anymore. They will be rented or leased. Again, this is a global transition, but the developing world still has to develop yet, right? And hence lies the opportunity for entrepreneurs and people that, well, believe in free will. Because you're going to be the last generation of people on Earth to ever know it. You are. When you think about it, this is actually a gift. It is. Because most of you have free will, but you've never used it. You talk about it. You talk about your freedom, but you don't utilize it. It's time to do it. Because again, where you live is going to change radically. Radically. This goes beyond this. Way beyond. It is the literal gutting of our former lives. That's why I don't mind coming to places like Mexico. I've lived in Ecuador before. I've spent a lot of time traveling Latin America in my life. And although in many cases it feels like you're going backwards in time, well, that's actually our saving grace. It is. We have choices, even though people are trying to say that we don't. And as that government and the controlled opposition and the controlled media continue to dole you that freedom carrot, I want you to think about what you really want for, again, the last generation that ever knows freedom. Are you going to exercise it? Or are you going to give it up? And I'm not saying that you have to move away from your home to do this. No. This is going to be a reconfiguration of lives, whether you like it or not. What I'm suggesting is that you actually make your own program and not follow theirs again. Because guess what? Theirs leads to let down because you never owned it to start. I'm here rejuicing my body and my soul because the last 2 years, and particularly year and a half, has been a go. It truly has. But I managed to escape the country, and well, it started with exhaustion. And I was in the Puerto Vallarta area, and it just wasn't really resonating to me, and things weren't working. Like, I was going to have to kick a few doors down to get what I wanted in my realm. And I decided, well, I know the lessons, and the lessons are you shouldn't have to kick it down if it was meant for you. So I decided to head down the coast, and I went south, and I found myself, wow, this lovely locale. It's not much, but it's got every element that I want. Peace, tranquility. This morning, I've got a hummingbird now. He's being him or her, not here. Going around. Saw him 3 times today. Butterflies continually. I've got monarchs, got yellow ones, I've got black ones. We've got everything. So yeah, I'm really actually feeling inspired. And again, now it's the time to, well, it's not what we know, because a lot of us know what's going on here, but it's healing from what we know. And also celebrating what we know, not for the tragedy of it all, but for the opportunity to live authentically, the way whatever deity you believe thought you should. It's all in here. And I'm really hoping that instead of continuing in the toxicity, because that's what it is right now, and it's meant to be, it's meant to break your soul. You need to depart that and go within. Think about happy you are to see people as they are. Those people that were in your life for a long, long time that let you down. Because a lot of people got let down in this COVID era. They did. It's time to be authentic. There has never been a better time. And again, this is your last opportunity to know it. Because by the time this thing shakes out, it's going to be 20 years. And by then, we're going to be so far underway. Biological convergence is upon us. I did a video about it 6 months ago. It's on the Government of Canada website under Policy Horizons. We see what's happening in Australia. And as it goes now, Canada is following in suit of every Western nation. We've got Israel requiring a vaccine passport, Australia, one of our Commonwealth nations, Germany, Austria. I mean, these are supposed to be our civilized nations. But they're betraying us too, because they're not in charge. The World Health Organization is. The United Nations is. That's where we need to look. And the only thing that's going to break down what's happening right now is parting company with the United Nations. It's the only way. It's big. And it may just prove to be too big because we're corporately involved. Unfortunately, most people that are investors, and even if they're freedom-loving people, are invested with the people charged with breaking down our society and changing it to the totalitarian way. In any case, I thought I was going to be a little light today, but apparently I'm not, and I'm just happy to be back. And, I just can't talk about where they take me off. And I was focused on that, and it is an absolute concern, obviously, because I've left the country. So that is the big reason for me, just, so we're clear here. I wasn't about to, again, I won't allow the modification of my being. No one gets near my DNA. In any case, YouTubers, hang tight. I'll be back, and we'll get a more regular in the coming weeks. Have a great day.